What's up guys, it's Emmanuel with another video. Now today I just want to go over a story time, how I grew an Instagram page to over 1 million followers. Because I not only did I grow one page, I grew a few pages to 1 million plus followers with one of the most successful ones growing past 2 million followers. But here's the thing that might surprise you. I didn't have a big team behind me. I didn't have much money to invest, and I didn't have some crazy network of connections. I literally did it from my computer, like literally my computer in front of me, literally from a room. I didn't do it from this room, but I did it from the bedroom I grew up in with my parents as a broke college student, still in school, part of high school, part of college for the most part. And that's exactly why I think anyone can do it, because the way I grew these pages, I didn't have much resources, I didn't have much money. I just had the right approach, the right mindset, and the right hunger. So in this video, I want to talk about my story growing these pages, the challenges I faced growing these pages, and why I decided to step out of that business. And I'll kind of briefly touch upon the business that I'm going into now. And I'll end the video by telling you a bit about how, if you're still interested, you can do it as well. If you are interested in doing that business model that I did, how you can get into that business model. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So I want to give you guys a little bit of context here. I want to give you guys a little bit of story time. I started that business growing Instagram theme pages back when I was like 17, 18 years old. I was just posting content. I was honestly just posting content around different niches that I enjoyed. At the time, it was fitness, it was self-development, it was motivational quotes back in 2017, 2018, where there was some competition, but it was not huge. There was some OG pages like Millionaire Mentor, but not like crazy pages like there is today. So that's when I started. At the beginning, I didn't really have some traction, but I really enjoyed just posting. Like, I was learning at the same time as I was posting. So I enjoyed posting about fitness. I enjoyed posting about entrepreneurship, business quotes, business tips. But then at the same time, around the same time, I found a mentor. He was doing Instagram, the same thing. He had an Instagram theme page in the fitness niche. I forgot what it was called, but he had a quite a successful page. It was a couple 100,000 followers. And then one day I saw on his story that he was offering consultation mentorship for people, and he had a call to action, like message me if you're interested, and that type of stuff. So me being just hungry, and having some cash to spend for these consultations for these consultation calls and mentorship, because I had some money that I made from flipping stuff on eBay and reselling, garage sales and that sort of stuff. I invested. It was only a couple $100s that I invested into his mentorship and consultation, but it was one-on-one mentorship over a couple of months, a couple of calls, which that was the pivoting point in my Instagram career. I don't want to say Instagram career, but Instagram journey, right? Growing these theme pages, social media marketing, how to get good at this whole online marketing stuff. So we became quite close, and we used to just go back and forth, right? Whether that's calls, just text messages. He would really help me, and I learned a lot, like how to grow an Instagram page through that person. And basically, I just replicated his viral formula, and it worked. Um, I started to grow a couple pages. I believe at the time I had like a network of pages. Like I started a fitness page, I started a travel page, I started I think like a men's fashion page as well, a cars page, and I started a couple motivational quote pages. Like I mentioned to you guys back in the day, the only big pages were like Millionaire Mentor. I think another one called 6 a.m. Success. There was not many. And the reason I focus on those is because all those other pages, even though I had a network of pages in different niches, the most successful ones were in the motivational space and the fitness space. The fitness space, I got the account. I think over 100K or very close to 100K followers, and I kind of started to monetize it, but nothing huge. But the ones that really saw success were the motivational pages. Those are the ones that I really, really started to see success. I grew, I think I grew a couple thousand followers, like over 10K. But one of them specific, like really started to get traction, and I grew past 100,000 followers. And if you guys don't know, like the motivational space business pages, like mine was, like those, they had a lot of interest for people wanting to sponsor on there, put their ads. Basically, the ad space on those pages was really, really good. Like you can close clients, you can close people on deals, just promoting, whatever they wanted, right? Whether that was helping them grow their personal account, personal brand, and stuff like that. I really saw some monetary success with those. And yeah, like I think I started monetizing at a couple 100,000 followers. I'm not exactly sure. I can't remember exactly the exact followers, but once I had enough traction going on those pages, good engagement, good followers. Before that, I didn't sell any. I didn't even know about too much. I did know, but I didn't know too much about how to make money until people started to reach out. I remember like one of the first clients that I had that reached out for a paid promotion and just like a package deal and helping them grow their personal account. At the time it was like a deal for like $1,000. I was like, what? $1,000 just to like promote a couple of posts? And it was really, crazy to me because like $1,000, I just closed that deal through DM, like literally in a couple minutes, right? Just back and forth, a couple messages, back and forth through a couple of days, and boom, he sent me the $1,000 on my PayPal account. I was like, wow. It was just like crazy to me because I had never really closed a deal for $1,000 back when I was like 17. So I was really just mind blowing. I was like, damn, this people really do want, ad space on these business pages, right? And that was my first client. That was the first person that I helped, and I think I did help them with some personal branding coaching. So what I'm trying to say is that business, I kept growing the pages, I kept reinvesting the money, and I kept growing other pages in the motivational business space, that type of stuff, right? Because at the time, like I said, there was only a few big pages. There was no other huge pages like there is nowadays, where there's like tens, dozens of pages that are like really successful, right? At that time, it was only a handful of pages, plus the opportunity to monetize, people wanting to really pay, a lot of money for, ads, sponsorships. It was just like a perfect, there's a perfect opportunity there. So what I did was I started a couple other pages. I think I grew them to a couple thousand, not as successful as this one page. So I was like, oh, what can I do now? I'm gonna buy a page, right? So I ended up buying another page for I think it had a couple. I'm not sure. Maybe it had like 50K. Maybe it had 100K. I'm not exactly sure because it's really hard to remember. But it had around. It was already, it had already some traction going on. Basically, I took that page, 50K or a couple 100K, whatever it had, and I grew it past millions. Like I grew that page to, I think at the peak it was 2 million followers. And I did the same thing. I had clients. I sold sponsorships, sold ad spaces on those two pages that I had, which was the first one that I started, and this new one that I bought and scaled up to like millions of followers. That was the main business model, right? Helping clients out. It was like a mini agency, selling sponsorships, selling ads, and doing a little bit of affiliate marketing there, here and there, as well as trying to sell my own products here and there. But the most successful revenue business model for those pages were ads, helping clients, and sponsorships. After that, I sold those pages. I'm kind of like, if you guys want a more, like more of a breakdown of how I sold these pages and how I went through that process, I can make another video. But kind of like explaining this story in a shorter way is like I did that business model, I grew that business model, and both of the pages I grew to millions of followers. The one that I first started, that one's the most successful one. I grew past 2 million followers, and then I sold it this year. And then the other one that I bought, I grew to close to 2 million followers or 2 million followers, somewhere around there. And then I sold that one. I sold that one like, I think 2 years ago, somewhere around there. But basically both were the same business model. And yeah, I made a good amount of money. And like I said, if you guys want me to make a detailed video on that, I can definitely make that. But, with those pages, I definitely made well over 6 figures during my time running those pages, and, as well as in my exit. I don't want to go too much into detail because I'm not sure how into that you guys are, but it was just really, really well business model at the time for me in my journey. And I exited those business with, a healthy, a healthy sale, which that was my story. And that's kind of a little bit of my story and my conclusion. But now to the second point is like, why, what were some of the challenges that I faced with these pages, and why did I decide to step out of the business when I was making well over 6 figures, right? And there's many reasons to that, but one of the reasons is, like I mentioned to you guys, back when I started in 2017, 2018, the competition was like, it was not much competition. When I started, the only few accounts that were big were like Millionaire Mentor, like I said, 6 a.m. Success, and there was just like a handful. But now, like, there's so many, the competition is so, it's just a lot of competition, right? You have pages like Wealth, you have pages like Mindset Therapy. I believe the OG pages are still there, like Millionaire Mentor, 6 a.m. Success, Business Mindset, or those big ones. But nowadays there's a lot of pages, right? And for those of you curious, if you made it this far into the video, the page that I started is called Alpha Leaders, Alpha_Leaders. So you can go search it up right now. It's still very active. It's not run by me anymore. Like I said, I sold it, but it's run by, a good person that I know in the space. So Alpha Leaders was my page. Time Investors was my page. And like I said, if you made it so far into this video, I kind of just dropped the names there, but yeah, if you want to go check them out, they're very successful pages. Alpha Leaders, I think it's around 2+ million followers still, and Time Investors, I think that one is bigger actually. But yeah, like I was saying, there's so much competition now. That was the first reason I'm like, no, I kind of want to get out of this space already. kind of the years that the years that I was in it, it was really, well worth it. The opportunity was there. Um, but then there was the primary reason, which was my shift in my careers. Like, don't get me wrong, there, even though there's competition with the Instagram theme page game, it's still very lucrative. Like, the person that I sold these pages to, he's building a network of pages, so it's still a very good business model. But it was more towards me and my career. I'm 25 years old right now. When I started those pages, I was 17, 18, and I ran them through all my college days. But I felt like at this point is like I didn't see myself doing that business model no more. It was a business model that that was just not fitting my goals for my long-term career here. So I decided to just, more for career purposes, decided to just sell those businesses, exit those businesses while they were still in good standing. Like, I mean, those pages were making money and they were growing and the engagement was good. But like I said, it was more personal. Like, I didn't feel like I wanted to do that business model no more. Like, I was basically just running a small team, handling it myself, maybe a couple freelancers that manage the posting, I can go more into how I ran these pages, but manage the posting and stuff like that. And I had a couple freelancers helping me out, and it was just, I didn't want to do that no more. I didn't see myself, like, I kind of wanted to look forward 10 years if this is really what I wanted to be doing still. And the answer to me was no. And it was no for a very long time already. It was a no for consecutive months and like over a year, honestly. I was really not enjoying the business no more. I didn't want to just keep posting and stuff like that behind the scenes, right? And like I said, there's nothing wrong with the business model. I think that people that do it and actually provide good value with these pages, I think it's amazing. And like, you can literally make a full-time income with this. But for me, like, I wanted to grow my knowledge. I wanted to do something more, I don't want to say bigger, but like, for me, something that aligns with my purpose and my passion more. And at the time I was running those pages, I was also doing YouTube, right? And YouTube is a whole different game. It's a whole different beast. Like, yes, they are both social media platforms, but the YouTube is, to make long form YouTube videos is just a completely different game. But I enjoyed it, and I had grown YouTube channels, multiple YouTube channels, 2 YouTube channels, one to over 800,000 subscribers, almost a million, and another one to over, I think, like over 180,000 subscribers, almost 200K. So I've had success with YouTube, and now it's like, that's the business model that I enjoyed more. But I didn't want to keep running those channels because those channels were in the same space, like the motivational type of space, like motivational quotes, motivational speeches. And I was partnered with them. I was partnered with another person on those YouTube channels. So that's another story, but I ended up selling those channels as well. But with that said, it kind of ties into the careers. Like, I wanted to do something different apart from Instagram, and at the time I was doing YouTube, and now nowadays, like present day, today that I'm speaking to you on the camera, is like, I really do enjoy YouTube. I enjoy creating content. I enjoy creating content that is just impactful and that is like story driven, and managing a team around that, and just the whole creator economy space, right? And I enjoy helping people as well. That's why I'm building this personal brand. Is like, I want to build a community where I can help other people either grow their personal brand or just grow in the creator economy space. I really, really do enjoy that. But so with that said, it's like, yeah, that's the shift in career I want to make. I want to make more of YouTube focused, at the same time personal brand, community building. That was the second reason I kind of shifted out of that. And honestly, those are the main reasons. Like, there's other smaller reasons why I shifted out of that space. But those are the two main reasons, and probably the shift in career is the main one there. But with that said, I also told you guys that I will end this video by telling you a bit about how you can do this business model if you're still interested. I know I said I just exited this business because of the competition. Um, but if you really, really differentiate yourself, you can still thrive even with the competition, right? And like I said, the main reason for me was because of shifts in career. But if you're still interested, I really believe that you can still do this. But you just have to differentiate yourself. Just know that there's way more competition now than there was back in 2015, 16, 17 when I was starting. Um, but you can do it. Like, you just have to be different. Like, how can you position yourself um, to be different? That's the first and foremost thing I would tell you guys. Like, I think this business model is great if you want to be behind the scenes, behind the, like, don't want to build a personal brand, and just want to be kind of low key about things, right? Just, run these pages, maybe build systems, processes around them where you can manage multiple pages. Like I said, I've known people that do that and just monetize them, whether that's, the main ways I monetize them, which was sponsorships and ads and helping other people grow, selling ad space on these pages, as well as a little bit of affiliate marketing. Or you can just go full blown out and, try to sell your own physical or digital product. Those are the ways to monetize these pages. And like I said, you can really make a full-time living with this. I've done it myself. I know people that do it to this day. But you just have to be different. Like, I'm not going to be here sugarcoating, lying to you that it's going to be like passive or that it's going to be a walk in the park. Like, in the beginning, it is hard. Like, you have to put in work. But just know that this business model still works. Like, if you come in whatever niche, whatever space you want to, compete in, whether that's motivation, whether that's fitness, whether that's, I don't know, travel, fashion, whatever it is, right? You have to know more than your competitors. You have to analyze the market space. Like, how are these people growing? What type of content are they producing? Like, how can I come into this space and disrupt this space in a new way? What angle can I take? What type of content can I produce that is a little bit different? Little things like this, right? And if you guys want more details of like how I did this over different brands and how I do this going into a new niche, a new space, how I think about these things, whether that's Instagram or YouTube, let me know and I can dive more into this. But really is like, how can you be different, first and foremost? And two is like, analyze your competitors. Like, how can I essentially beat my competitors? Entrepreneurship is a business. It's like a sport. You are playing to compete. Like, you want to compete with them. Like, it's just what it is, right? And third, I would say to really, before you go into any niche, also analyze how are you going to monetize. Because there's some niches where it's much more harder to monetize and make money than other niches. Like, I gave you guys an example. When I was starting out, I started other pages in the travel. I started other pages in the fashion, even meme accounts. I wanted to create the next, like, what are those, like, meme pages, like Daquan or Fuck Jerry, right? One of those, like, I'm probably butchering the name here, but one of those, like those meme pages, right? But it's really hard to monetize unless you are those big pages that are just like the dominant in the space, right? Like, meme pages, like, even if you have a couple 100,000 followers, like, the ad space is not good at all. Like, it is competitive. It is hard compared to a motivational page that has a couple 100,000 followers. Like, the ad space is much, much better, right? So you want to really analyze, hey, is there money in this, right? Because yes, you are wanting to find something that you enjoy. But if there's no money, then like you're not gonna be able to make a living, right? You want to have, you know, something that you enjoy, that you can disrupt. Like I said, and when I say disrupt, you don't have to be like a Steve Jobs, like innovate like crazy. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying, like, how can you differentiate yourself a little bit, right? So that plus, know how you're gonna make money with them. Some of the, more important things. And like I said, if you guys want a more detailed breakdown of how I would approach getting into the Instagram theme page game now that we're in 2025, let me know. But I still think there's opportunity in that, as there is opportunities in many other businesses. You just have to find out. You just have to know more about your business than your competitors and find out how you can be different. Like, that's one of the most important things, right? Of course, there's other things, but if you really want it, you can be successful with it. So yeah, that's my story. That's how I did it. That's how I would approach it if I would do it again today in 2025. But now I'm building YouTube channels. Now I'm documenting, the building of this personal brand, this video that you're watching. So with that said, if you're into this type of content, if you want to see my journey documenting building, in the creator economy space, I'll probably start a new series about building a new YouTube channel that I'm working on. How I'm going about things, the things that I'm learning, the things that I'm, that are working, that are not working. Definitely subscribe. And like I said, I'm going to be producing content that is just documenting, my journey in my 20s. I'm 25 right now, building a team, documenting the whole thing of building a media business. The ups, the downs, like how I'm investing my money, that type of stuff. So if you're into that, make sure to subscribe. Also, if you want to connect, just shoot me a message on my Instagram. I'll link it down in the description. And looking forward to connect, and hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye.